No matter what happens again, let's beat their ass, man. We're gonna do something different now. Hey, dog tag! Dog tag! Whoop their ass on 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoop their ass!
As a quarterback, you can never be surprised. You got to be able to prepare so that you're not. And it's my job to go out there and make sure that I can play to my best of ability whenever they come in.
We're here at home in front of our fans, people who have supported us when things haven't gone as well. Let's give them something to start talking about.
I think there are a number of different position groups on the team right now that are really interesting. I think the one that probably everyone's really excited about is just the front seven and defense.
So the defensive line's really realistically probably the deepest on the team, and one that really should be together for a long period of time.
Those guys in particular are going to be a standout group for us.
Dion got to start this shit. Let's go. First on 3. 1, 2, 3. Dominate.
I expect these guys to play hard, tough, physical football. I expect them to knock the line of scrimmage back. I expect them to stop the run. I expect them to rush the passer. I expect them to dominate games. I expect them to do all the things that make defensive lines great.
I think this year it was more of like we need to get to work. And I know that the rookies really felt it because us as veterans really pressed it.
There's a lot of competition. We're all growing and building together. We're trying to change and make this a great season overall.
Let's go. Get out of the box. All the way out of the box. Let's get out of the box.
Having Coach Simmons coach us, as a D-line is very beneficial to us because he's been there, he's had 130-something sacks. That's what we aim to get. He teaches us the technique, what to look forward to in offensive linemen, their stance.
He has the technique, and he's been doing it for years. So as soon as he sees on the field, he knows what's happening. Now he's gonna bring you over, and he's gonna explain what's happening, what you can do better next time when you encounter that same set or that same play. So just sitting in the film room with him, just listening and taking notes, you're gonna get better.
There we go. Good job, Trey. Come on, Coop. There you go. Now all the way through the box.
After OTAs, he could tell that I came in shape and I was ready to blow up this season. At the same time, he could tell that I was a little frustrated with my pass rush still. He was like, look, you're not gonna be a Pro Bowl pass rusher. You're gonna be a Pro Bowl run stopper, and you need to focus on doing that to the best of your ability. And so that really caught me off guard. I was kind of like a little pissed that he said that, but at the same time, it made me understand my role.
That's the way you're supposed to play. You hear me? That's what I'm looking for. That's the line for you. You separated for the box. There we go. Good job, Emmanuel. Set it, Miles. Miles, set it. Set it.
Miles is taking the right approach about it. Sometimes when you're the #1 overall, you can get a little bit arrogant about it stuff. He's been very humble. He's been very receptive of what I'm trying to tell him, what I'm trying to teach him as in our techniques. I'm just trying to add on to what he already does. He's a pretty good pass rusher, but I'm trying to add on a few things that he doesn't do a lot of.
I believe that we can be one of the best D-line, but at the same time, it's not about the D-line, it's about the defense. And so I feel like it starts with us. If we believe we're the best D-line, then our defense is going to be the best.
It does start with us. We're a 4-3 defense, and a lot of it really boils down to how well our tackles play. And it has a lot to do with trying to control the run game. If you can control the run game, you kind of make teams one-dimensional. So if you make them one-dimensional, you got a chance of doing something in there because they can't run the ball against us. So we have to make them in the point of trying to beat us through throwing it through the air.
It really just comes down to everybody playing together, playing for each other. Our defense has been doing great. I feel like we're going to be something to worry about. So we'll stay tuned and keep an eye on the dogs.
That excitement has just grown. I'm excited to see how we're going to come together and what it's going to look like. We grew up here. I remember playing Pop Warner games on this same field. I remember coming as a kid in middle school to the game to watch the high school play against other teams, and that's what it's all about. To me, Nyack was just a family-based community. It wasn't always the best, and it definitely wasn't the worst, but to me, the community always stuck together. This camp means everything to us. I think growing up, we just always want to be, someone in the neighborhood respected, someone that people could look up to and say, they did it the right way, and say, this guy's just like me. To now be able to come back right where we grew up and do that, and for the kids to be able to expect it every year, to be out there racing against those kids and them running against NFL athletes, but guys that they feel like they can go back to school and be like, yeah, J-Mac's my guy, we hang out every year. That's what it's all about, so that's why we do it. Hold on. I'm up, man. Get out the way. What we got? Right foot, left foot?
Left foot.
Okay.
Set, go.
You ain't running. I just beat you. You ain't running. You cruising. We ain't cruising.
When they were first born, I was scared to death because the idea of raising two kids together, I was overwhelmed at first, but you get over it quick.
It was awesome, having an identical twin, there's always somebody to play with, no matter whether it's video games, playing one-on-one basketball, football in the backyard. We always had each other, and I think the positive in that, we always had a supporter, but we also always had somebody to compete against. So I think it taught us a lot, and to this day, we talk every day. We're competitive as heck, always kind of challenge each other, pushing each other to be better players, better men, and everything in our lives. So it's an awesome experience. Everyone in our neighborhood would tell you, if you saw one of us, you saw both of us. And to me, it was just always fun to compete with someone, challenge someone. As much fighting and stuff we did, I think we were always each other's biggest fan, especially in sports. So it was something that I hold true to my heart and dear to my heart, just all the experience we got to do and grow together and become adults. This is a lesson to all you kids. I'm serious. You can run your mouth all you want, but what do you do is what's important. Anybody can come out here and say, you didn't do nothing in the Super Bowl, you didn't do nothing in the season, but you got to get there. Both our second years, I remember being on the field probably for the first time ever and being in the game versus South Florida. Over the PA, they said McCourty on the tackle. And I remember just thinking like how cool that was. My mom got a chance to come to a ton of the games. She had a custom Rutgers jersey where the front was 25 and the back was 21. And she was always able to represent for both of us. And that was special for us. We haven't been able to do it in the pros, so you can look back to those college times and realize how special it was. We was always able to communicate. And I think for him it was a little tougher because me, I was going on to a new experience in Tennessee, trying to figure out the ropes of the NFL, trying to make the team, and he was still in college. The knowledge that I was able to gain in my rookie year in the NFL, I was able to pass on to him, and he kind of took that full head of steam and had an amazing senior year. And I went 203rd in the draft. He came out the next year and went 27th, so I'm still waiting for my payment for him for helping to get him selected a little higher. Don't care about what other people say. Be smart. Have a backup plan. Have a backup plan to your backup plan. But believe in your dreams. You play 8 years in one place, and just like that, you get released. That's the NFL. And going into situations, free agent, when you don't know anyone, is tough. And I think for me, knowing Greg, knowing what I was going to get from him as a defensive coordinator made me excited. Going on my visit, getting a chance to speak to everybody upstairs, speak to the coaches. And for me, the most genuine part about it was getting a chance to talk to Greg Williams. He said to me, you know, I can talk to you for days, but I want you to go down in the cafeteria and talk to our guys on defense. So getting a chance to talk to Kirko, Joe, Jamar, Jamie, Kenny, sitting there talking to those guys and to hear those guys talk about the organization, I was excited to join the team, and that excitement has just grown. I'm excited to see how we're going to come together and what it's going to look like. But man, it's fun. It's a young team. As an older guy, being able to impart wisdom on guys and just learn. And as a player, you get to 9 years, you just appreciate being there, playing football, getting a chance to get better every day.
Let's make sure everybody hears us right now. Y'all ready? Yeah! Break down! Break down! Break down!
What's up, guys? This is Britton Colquitt. It's a privilege to be out here with y'all. You can see what a specialist day is like.
Get your head up!
Colquitt is a guy we picked up last year. Obviously, he's been a great addition for us. He's a true professional in what he does. He has no wasted movement. When he catches the ball and he molds the ball and then he punts it, I mean, everything is very efficient. He's a guy that's won a Super Bowl before, so he knows what it's like to be there, but at the same time, he's a guy that has a lot of life and a lot of personality. Guys want to be around him, so it's a plus having him around.
What's up, guys? This is Britton Colquitt. It's a privilege to be out here with y'all. You can see what a specialist day is like. A little bit later, you'll see some action. See a lot of Charlie's butt. So excited to have you guys.
This is my first training camp here. Last year, I got here week 1, so I missed all the preseason. When training camp comes around, unfortunately, sorry guys, when they're in all these meetings, I mean, we can only meet for so long, you know. So we try after the team meeting, the special teams meeting, we try to go upstairs and we watch our stuff. But I mean, how much can you really do? When everybody else is in meetings, this is what we're doing. We're grinding. It's sad because my wife knows that we have all this time and I could be at home, but I'm not allowed to be. So our responsibility kind of turns to doing different things in the weight room to try to look like football players or creating just different hobbies. And I don't know why, it just came to me. I think somewhere in the past I said, oh, whittling, that's kind of cool. I mean, you know, if you have nothing to do. I gave him a little fur ball up top. Guys walk by and they're like, what the heck are you doing? And then they're mad at you because they're like, you know, I don't have time to do this. I actually have to do football stuff.
Told you guys would be looking at Charlie's derriere all day.
Charlie's great. We've become really close in a small amount of time. That kind of happens in our position because we're just together so much. But Charlie's very consistent, and his bad, you know, snaps that he feels like are bad, you would never even notice on TV or even film that we watch. So he's very good, very consistent, and it makes my job easier.
See, if I didn't have Charlie, I wouldn't know the situation.
I'm here to make you look good.
Yes! Let's get a friendly chest bump.
So what goes through my mind when I'm about to kick, it's a lot of mental things.
Got to work on these lefts. They were no bueno in the game.
Everything you do to have the most success would be you figure out what you're going to do before it even happens, and then you just kind of, your muscle memory takes over. I've done the catch and the steps and the leg swing enough to where that just happens. You know, when I was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, I couldn't really tell you much what happened because you kind of just blacked out because it's such a scary moment in time and there's so much going on. You're in fear. I mean, it's scary in that situation. So it just comes down to handling it mentally, and I'm very relaxed and happy-go-lucky in life already, and kind of just this optimist, I guess you could say.
Oh, snap! Snap!
I think that's helped me in my position, because if I was a different way, you know, it would be very hard to handle kind of the stresses that come along with it. But with that being said, you know, Hugh's awesome. His attitude never changed, even, you know, amidst the losing. And that's all to, you know, Coach Jackson. And it's still a place where everybody wants to come to work. And in my experience from looking at the team last year and looking at the team this year and seeing just talent-wise and the attitude of the guys and the belief and things like that, the pieces are there to turn this into a championship football team. So everybody believes that that's a possibility, and I can see it going in that direction.
Hey, sometimes you go on the field and you have to go play overtime, but whatever it is, we got to be perfect to the end.
Our group of offensive linemen, they're very tight knit. It's almost its own like subculture within the team.
You know, offensive line is kind of a unique group. We're a unique bunch of individuals, and we have fun, and we know that when things are going well, you know, we don't get the credit. We don't want that, but we know when things are going wrong, we get the blame. So I think that's kind of a unique, cool situation for us, and you know, we like that. It only makes us push that much harder.
Hey, sometimes you go on the field and you have to go play overtime. You got to play it just as well as you did in the first 4 quarters. It was a long practice, but whatever it is, we got to be perfect to the end.
Off the field, we're kind of all big guys, so we enjoy food, and that's kind of how we bond off the field. You know, we always if it's here at the facility, we'll get our food and go and watch the film.
As I got older and became the old man in the room, I took on the role of the social coordinator, trying to get guys together, trying to do fun stuff in the building that keeps guys' brains fresh and fun, and sometimes you got to get your mind off of football, especially in training camp.
Just the other day, the guys was having a watch party for Game of Thrones. So, I mean, you know, just small things like that. You know, just getting together, participating in things, having fun with each other.
We're willing to compete over anything. Whatever it is, if we're bouncing a ping pong ball into a cup, if we're playing cards, if we're swimming in the natatorium, the Joe Thomas natatorium, that is, we're going to compete. And I think that is really a great attitude to kind of have. And it makes things fun, and it kind of brings energy to everything we do. And I see it carrying over onto the football field.
The nice thing is we have no real egos in the room, and everybody's kind of have a laid-back personality where we can kind of bust each other's chops and no one takes offense to it, and it's all for a laugh.
340's built a little more for that block than 290 is.
When you talk about our offensive line, I think obviously you have to talk about Joe Thomas first and foremost. But then you go and you look at our line with adding J.C. Tretter, Kevin Zeitler.
Being able to add Kevin, you know, in the offseason was key for us, really solidified that important right guard position, kind of the linchpin for our running game.
Kevin, I think, is the definition of intensity.
He just is so in love with football that he just puts in so much work. Anything he possibly can do to make himself better, he's doing it. And it's really pushed me to, you know, try and be a better player too.
I yelled go, but I tripped over seat. Then I just kind of tried to fall behind him and stop it.
It's never going to be perfect, but we're going to work on getting it perfect.
Hell yeah.
Zeitler, you know, it's always good to be working next to him because, you know, he's a veteran guy, knows what he's doing, very physical player, and, you know, he just helps me out, you know, whenever I have questions with the game.
If you have to leave, I'm going to be there for you.
It's a hard gap in my mind.
Yep, right, yeah.
JC's a really smart guy who's got a good bit of experience under his belt, and it's always fun working with a center that's kind of thinking the same way that you are.
The guy's flying around in there, and at the center, that's a huge advantage to get him out in space and blocking people.
Go, 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 go!
Being the center, JC kind of takes the vocal role, and he's done such a good job. He's so studious and really understands the offense, so he's always in there, you know, learning different details and stuff I'm not even thinking about. And he's like, oh, what would you do here? And I'm like, I don't know, you tell me.
My goal, and you know, the way I see the center's job description is, my job is to paint the picture for the other 4 guys. Tell everybody what they're looking at, where we're going to, and kind of take all the questions out of everybody's mind. If we can get all on the same page and know exactly where we're going to, and then it's just about playing football and not about thinking anymore, I think you're able to play fast, and the amount of success you find is so much higher when you take the thinking out of football.
Huddle, 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 huddle. Come on, firm up. Hey, cadence discipline. If we want them to back off the ball a little bit, we need to be able to sit in there.
It's been a neat group to watch gel together, because it's probably the position group where we have the biggest range in terms of level of experience, and to see a first-year player like Rod Johnson interact with a future Hall of Famer and Joe Thomas, and really kind of everywhere in between, it's been really neat to see the synergy amongst those players.
You can feel that energy in the building, out in the fans at practice, the building of a winner. I feel like that feeling that the tides are turning, and we've got positive momentum going forward.
We feel like we have the opportunity, due to the talent that we have, to be the best offensive line in the NFL. And so each week, that's our goal, and that's what we're striving for, and that's where our measuring stick is.
We need to come together and really put our best foot forward and prove that we do have the talent to win football games here, and we can go far. It doesn't matter what's said outside these doors or anybody else outside this area. We know what we can do.
We feel good about the core group that's there, and they're going to be the backbone of our offensive football team. If we're going to make this jump this year as a football team, I think it starts with that group. That group has to pave the way for us.